What's going on, yo? What's going on? Let me know how we sounded. I heard a little static. Let's see if we can fix that. It's Friday. I don't even feel like Friday, but it's Friday. So we got a couple charts we're looking at, but we're gonna break all that stuff down in a little bit. But you already know, go ahead and hit that like, y'all. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. We had some retracements take place yesterday. We got a couple charts kind of still stuck in place. We do got a few news events popping off though. 8:30, we got USD news, as well as Canadian news. So we'll see how that plays out. Went live with the members yesterday during 8:30. Nothing too crazy happened. Again, we just had a lot of consolidating and ranging. So we're going to see if we can catch a setup before New York. But again, the price is kind of dead, especially between like now and like if we don't see anything between now like 6 a.m. It's probably going to be chilling up until that 8:30 news. But we're still going to be on the charts looking for some setups. Make sure like the live, y'all hop up in here, y'all. You got a new 5-minute about to pop up in a little bit. You already know the drill. If you guys got any questions, drop in the chat. When we're looking at charts, drop in the chat. So right now, I'm just being real patient with the setups because, again, a lot of charts did some big retracements yesterday and last night. So I'm just simply waiting for a price to break it back above or below the levels I want to look for some entries at. Like GJ, for example, like we was talking about this week with GJ, the same level right here. When we go back in time, price failed to hold the support here. Right, rejected this level, failed to hold the support here. I've been tripping out. And then we go back to here. Price failed to hold this level as support again. Failed to hold. Came back up this week. Failed to hold this level as support again, as well as failed to break and hold this resistance level as support. So until price can do one of those two or just completely blow through it, we're going to continue to do this, right? But again, this is basically happening. We keep on struggling to break these levels. Again, look here. The price hit those levels, rejected. Again, beginning of this month, the middle of this month, price rejected that same level. And then literally yesterday and on Tuesday, price rejected that level again. Now, we are still bullish, but I do want to see price push back up because, again, it's just been retracing and failing to hold levels as support. So I'm not going to look for a buy side while price is showing that it's pushing down. But if we can break back above these levels here, I am going to look for buys. But again, we just have a lot of retracing. So as far as right now, I'm going to look for another gold sell setup. And that's the only thing I really like right now because everything else just did big retracement. It's kind of just consolidated, right? Same thing with NAS100. We look right here. Broke this level, failed to hold that support, failed to hold that support. So I'm just going to keep it live. Game plan is still the same for gold. And again, when we look at gold, same stuff happening. Right, price is struggling to hold this low as support and continue the uptrend. And then it's also struggling to break and hold this low as resistance. So again, we're just waiting for price to either break or hold this low as resistance at 32.84 or break or hold this low as support at 33.28. That's all we can do. Got new 15 about to pop up in a few minutes, y'all. Yeah, but all these charts right now basically doing the same thing. Obviously, different market structures, but they're all basically doing the same thing, which is struggling to continue the trend they're in. All right, new 15 just popped up. Let's see if we can break this level again. If we can break and hold 32.84 as resistance, we're going to look for sells again. Price has just been ranging here for the past couple weeks now. Those just joined the stream, we have not entered this trade yet. This is a trade idea. Make sure to hit that first link in the description. Join the free signal, free Telegram. Y'all see on your screens like we did last month and last quarter. Go ahead and hit that first link and check it out for yourselves. Looks like GBU is pushing down too. So we're not going to go for buys right here. So we got a few stocks we're looking at. Again, we're just waiting for volume to pick up. Price can't really move without volume. Now we got a couple news events today. We got 830 USD and Canadian news. So we're going to see if we can catch a setup. But price kind of just been retracing and it's getting ranging right now. So if we don't see anything in the next few hours, it's probably going to be just chilling up until 8:30, 9:30 New York open. We're going to be looking at possible gold sales, possible NAS buys, and then possible GJ buys. But we're mainly going to be paying attention to gold and NAS right now. New 15 about to pop up in a little bit. Those just joined the stream. We have not into these trades yet. These are just trade ideas. Make sure to hit that first link in the description. Join the free signal, free Telegram. See on your screens how we did last month and last quarter. Go ahead and hit that first link and check it out for yourselves. Matter of fact, we're going to pull it up right now. So as far as how we're doing this week, we're 3-0 this week, or yeah, we're 3-0 this week, or wait, let's just go back in time. Because Monday's throwing me off. I keep on forgetting we didn't trade Monday. Monday's throwing me off. Did Tuesday, we caught a nice 115 pip move on GJ, giving us a nice 1 to 4, restore ratio setup. We broke this down literally in Tuesday's live stream, as well as we broke this down in the Sunday chart analysis. By the way, y'all, even though it is Friday, if you have not watched this week's Sunday chart analysis, make sure to watch this, because this is literally proof that this shit works. Okay, I dropped this, as you can see, 11:06 p.m. Sunday night, going over my projections on all these charts I was looking at for the week. If you go to those charts right now, majority of them are doing exactly what I was talking about. I go over specific price points and all that good stuff. So you go to Tuesday's live stream, you're gonna see the whole process. I was patiently waiting for a price to break and retest and hold this level. Obviously, we weren't live the whole day, right? But y'all saw us enter this trade and all that good stuff. But that's how we started off the week. Then on Wednesday, we caught another GJ setup, which was this one right here. Nice, almost 1 to 2. Caught 41 pips on that. And then the same trade that night retraced and then pumped and exploded to the upside. We got some with a 4 restore ratio setup. And then catching 136 pips. And then we caught a gold sell. We missed TP2 by literally like a couple pips. So we caught 400 points on that, 400 pips on that. So that's how we're doing so far this week. Like y'all see on your screens, as far as how we did last month, all you gotta do is scroll up to the beginning of this month. But you can also see how we've been doing on a weekly basis. Last week we went 4-0. Week before that, we went 5-0. Week before that, we went 4-1. Monday, post a recap of how we did last month, because this is the last trading day of the month as far as Forex is concerned. Then we went 5-0 before that. But as far as how we ended April, like I'll see on your screens, you go to May 2nd, you're going to see how we did April. April, we went 16-1, giving a 94% win rate, catching a total of 68,765 pips. As far as how we did the quarter, again, you click that. Depending on which one you click, it's going to take you up a month by month, week by week, or quarter by quarter basis. But literally everything's dated time to document it. Can't make none of this stuff up. As far as how we ended quarter one, that's when I don't do that yet. We still got one more month before this quarter's up. January went 17-3, February 14-1, March 13-1, and then the quarter 44-5, giving us a 90% win rate, catching a total of 155,207 pips. You go right here where it says subscribers and play with free plays. You scroll down, there's over 1,600 photos, 3 years worth of receipts. You can see screenshots of positions, screenshots of signals, as well as student results and testimonials. So be sure to click through here and explore all that stuff. We got members of students eating. I got some more. I got to get into the habit of posting. I got a lot, but I'm gonna start posting stuff a lot more. We got one of our students making $500, almost $600 on a day. Another student made $9,000. I actually posted a trade breakdown of this trade where they made that one. So make sure to check that out after this live's over. All playlists are up to date. So you're going to see trade breakdowns. Go to the trade breakdown playlist. You want some day trading tips, go to the day trading tip playlist. You want crypto stock analysis, check out those playlists. I got to post some more videos this week and this weekend for the crypto stock analysis. So make sure you're going to look out for that. But again, it's literally just 3 years worth of receipts. We've been doing this for a very, very, very long time. So make sure just to hit that first link. You can't do anything until volume picks up. We can see here, price has literally been ranging here literally since 11 o'clock last night. Same thing here. We see price has been ranging here since 10 o'clock. So again, until volume picks up, there's nothing we can really do. We don't want to chase price and get impatient. We want to know where our game plan is and then simply wait for price to come to us and show if it's going to meet those confirmations or not. All right, again, so we don't see anything these next few hours, especially up until like around 6 a.m. Price is probably going to be chilling up until 8:30, when the Canadian and USD news pops off. If you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. When we look at any charts, drop them in the chat. But we're just chilling, patiently waiting right now. What's going on, Father Doug? Market's been a little crazy this week. It was like the kind of last week. It's been better. This week was better than last week, but I think if we talked about it earlier, so we can talk about it again. We talked about it earlier in the live though. But really, what's been happening is what's been going on for the past month and a half, right? We're going to the bigger time. This is why I always talk about. You got to, one, understand how to read the charts, but two, you gotta look on the bigger time frames. But the smaller time frames, again, the smaller time frames only explain what price is doing at the exact moment. The bigger time frames explain what price has been doing and where price is heading and going. Right. So when we look right here, I already got this marked up. This must have been from a one-on-one session earlier this week. Let's go ahead and remove all this stuff. Right. So again, we see here how we had clear bullish momentum. And then what do we see? We see price. Again, look right here. Let's pay attention to the dates, right? And we see here, this was April 16th. So from April 16th all the way to April 29th, price was stuck at the same spot. Then we had 3 days of price retrace, 2 days of price stuck in the same spot. Then we had 2 days of price push back up. But then again, we see here, we go to the rules of the uptrend and price action technical analysis playbook. Let's pull that out. It's almost done. Accidentally exposed all my messages. Right, when we pull out the price action technical analysis playbook, again, works on stocks, forex, options, crypto. Hit one of those links in the description. You can get that copy and also give it away for free in Playmaker University for the playmakers. Right? But like I said right here, in order for the uptrend to continue, we need to break past the previous high, which gives us a new higher high. We also have to respect the support level the higher low is resting on. So we see here that price failed to break this resistance level, hold it as support here, and this time when price came back up. Then we also see price, when it did reach this level, struggle to make new lower lows, right? Because when we go back to the other chart, let's go to gold. And we can do this for like literally every chart. Every chart is doing the same stuff, right? So we go back in time. Again, let's go to those dates. Again, this was the 23rd, going to the 29th. Go to gold, 23rd to the 29th. You can see price, again, kind of like what we see right now, struggling to break this resistance, support level turn to resistance, but also struggling to break this level here and hold it as support. And then we can see, again, each time price like struggles, it consolidates for like a day or two at a time. Again, this is hours of price just stuck in place. Okay, so price is struggling to continue because again, that's what I was talking about earlier, right? Volume is what moves the markets, right? So for higher highs and lower lows to be made, we need volume. So there's a lack of volume, which we can see by all these wicks and small candlesticks. Price is struggling to, either because of a lack of volume, break through those support resistance levels and make new higher highs and lower lows, which is why we see it going on. Because again, like we talked about in the price action technical analysis playbook, let's wait for my screen to get back. There we go. Like we talk about in the price action technical analysis playbook, there is 3 cycles, right? There's 3 cycles. Price is always going to be an uptrend, downtrend, consolidation. So when we look at price right now, we're kind of stuck in some consolidation. And like I always talk about with the members of students, Playmaker University in one-on-one sessions, don't want to take setups when price is consolidating, which is again why every trade we take is always when we're in an uptrend or downtrend. Prices range or consolidating or in reversal territory. What do I always tell y'all? I'm not going for a setup. I'm going to wait for price to either A, break and hold this low as support, or B, break and hold this low as resistance, which is what we literally talked about with gold, right? With gold, what have we been talking about all week? What did we talk about in the Sunday chart analysis? We talked about, where's that arrow? There it is. We talked about either waiting for price to break above and hold this low as support and go for buys, which we did last week and on Monday this week, or break below this level as resistance to go for sells. But again, look, what do we see here? Each time price breaks this level, it fails to either break the levels above or mainly hold this level as support. Same thing here. Each time price breaks this level, if it struggles to break these next levels or hold it as resistance, we can see that happening here as well, right? Price struggling to break below. Again, look at these dates, same exact dates when price was doing this right here. We look right here, again, same thing happening right now was taking place here when we first made those higher highs of those same exact levels, right? You see what's happening during that time? It's literally taking place right now. So again, so that's just what it is. Like I always talk about, the charts are going to be in these three cycles, and these three cycles is just all time frames. All three of these cycles is a part of trading and investing. So it's not going to be every day or all the time where we have volume pumping into the markets. It's not going to be every day or all the time where we have clean uptrend or clean downtrends. So that's why it's so important to understand the market conditions, understand how to read the charts. Because what I notice a lot in the signal room, especially, is again we're routine based. You know, we're habit based. So when it comes to trading, you have to kind of turn that off, right? Because again, like I always talk about, when it comes to trading, you can't come into this with the employee mindset. You got to come into this with the employer or business mindset. So let me grab my charger really quick, and I'm gonna break that down. Now, what do I mean by you need to come with this with the employer business mindset, right? So aside from salary jobs, right? If you work a regular job that pays you by the hour, as long as you work the same hours every week, the same shifts, the same times, every 2 weeks, every week, you get paid the same amount after taxes without fail. But with trading, it's like I said, it's like a business or being an employer. Running a business, you work the same times, you open your store the same times, but each day is different, right? Like if I'm a restaurant or a club, the weekends I'm gonna make more money than on a Monday or Tuesday. Does that mean that I don't know how to run a business because Monday and Tuesday is slower than the weekend? No, that's just how this shit works, right? So, and just like we're running a business, like I said, some days you make more money than other days. Some days there's more volume than other days, right? Just like with trading, sometimes there's more volume than other weeks. Some days or weeks we're in the uptrend. Some days or weeks we're in the downtrend. It always changes, right? And just like with trading in the business, every day you make different amounts, right? You don't make the same amount every day trading unless you literally close after you hit that number every day. You get what I'm saying? So that's why it's so important to understand how to read the charts and then to remember what we're doing here. That's why I always say the same shit, because I want to drill in y'all's heads. We are investors. We are trading. Yes, there's a lot of videos online where people glamorize this shit. That's why people end up blowing accounts, fucking having terrible mindsets when they get into trading, because again, everybody makes it seem like you just in 2 weeks can just start making 10K a week or whatever, and that's just not how it works, right? Now, of course, you have a certain amount of money, you can do that, but again, it's a process. And at the end of the day, it's investing. We're investors. We got to make smart investments. But like I said, that's just what the markets are doing. So that's why, again, like I always say in the live streams, we're just chilling, patient, and waiting. Because I learned the hard way, of course, that you can't make the markets do what you want it to do. And just because you're impatient or try to rush setups, that's just not the way to do it. So that's why, again, I got my sell idea here, I got my buy idea here, I got my buy idea here, and I'm just patiently waiting to see if price is going to meet my confirmations or not. If it does, cool. If not, I'm cool, because again, I understand that this is just the name of the game. And then also, again, I'm not thinking short term, thinking long term. We're up for the week, right? We caught a beautiful 1 to 4 RR in this trade up. This was almost 1 to 2, or you just caught a nice 1 to 4 if you didn't re-enter, right? But I took the setup twice, right? And then on Tuesday we caught a nice 1 to 4, right? So even if y'all didn't get wicked out in profit on gold and you took a loss on this one, we're still up for the week. We had a great week last week. We're up for the month. We're up for the quarter. We're up for the year. So again, you gotta think. You gotta think logically, right? Now let me take it off, because I'm not really talking to you. I'm just talking. I'm just talking right now. To the sell 3304 support. Keep doing what you do, man. Like it up, good. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But yeah, so you just gotta understand the territory, and understand the market conditions, and that way you can make a wise decision. But also you gotta think long term, right? So again, every trade I take, and this is why our win rate is so high, because I'm very picky with my setups, especially when it comes to the signal room, right? That's why our win rate is so high. That's why when our final TP gets hit, we catch so many pips. Our risk rewards are crazy. Is because again, I'm only going for high probability, high quality setups. Every trade I take, I fully believe I'm gonna make money on, right? And if I don't think that, or if I don't see something I like, I don't take the setup. I only take setups and call signals that meet all my rules, and I truly believe I'm gonna make money on. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why that is because again, my mindset is like this: if I'm gonna put my hard-earned money on the line, which is that's what y'all do, that's what I do. So that's why I'm always like, don't be in a rush to try to find a live account, especially when you just started watching YouTube videos 2 weeks ago on trading. Like, you don't live accounts the last thing to worry about, right? That's why when people come here asking what broker, I'm like, are you brand new to trading? If you are, don't worry about that, right? Because I'm trying to save y'all from throwing money away, because that's what's happening essentially when you're running off emotions and you're rushing, trying to take setups. But also, this goes back to why I say it's so important to understand and read the charts and don't be routine based when it comes to trading. Because it's easy to get comfortable when we have crazy bullish momentum like this happening or like this happening, right? It's going to be easy money. But then when the markets change, and you don't understand the market's change, but you're still trying to trade like how you was a month ago, 2 months ago, or last quarter, that's where the confusion comes into play. That's where everybody's freaking out. That's the main reason why everybody's online. So, oh, price action is bad, price action is bad, price action is bad. It's not really bad. We just have low volume. That's part of price action, right? Because again, we can literally just look at the charts. We have bullish momentum, consolidation, right? Reversal, bullish momentum, reversal, bullish momentum, consolidation. We even go fucking last year. Look at this consolidation for months, right? So that's just how it works, right? Then we had a few months of crazy bullish momentum, right? Then we have consolidation. That's just how the charts work. That's just how the charts work. You know what I mean? So does it suck? Yeah, but it is what it is. That's just part of it. That's why you got to take full advantage of your winning trades and don't let winners turn to losers. But also, again, be super strict with the rules. So even like when market conditions are bad, you can still be up for the week or still find winning trades during these market conditions. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of new traders or struggling traders, they don't really understand this, because again, they're like, what's happening? A month ago, I could just sneeze and press a button and make money, but now things aren't happening right. So that's why a lot of people strategy hop or think their strategy's not working, is because they don't understand how to read the fucking charts. Because again, that's why I talk about like the Playbook University was talking about this live yesterday. I'm not just giving you a strategy, like all the main shit, like even right now, the live stream, I'm not even talking trading strategy right now. I'm simply talking about how to read the charts. You get what I'm saying? I'm simply just talking about how to read the charts. We didn't even get into the trading strategy. So that's what people don't understand, because like I'll be talking and they think I'm talking about the strategy. I'm like, this isn't even the strategy. This is what you need to know before you have a strategy. And this is the part that everybody skips. Right? That's why you can pay for an indicator or pay for a strategy or whatever the fuck, but still be confused because you don't know how to read the charts. You don't got a trading plan. You don't got the right mindset. That's why people throw out psychology, trading psychology. But the part of trading psychology is actually having a trading plan, understanding what you're actually doing here, and respecting the markets. But you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna talk about that forever, but that's why I always be stressing the charts, because when you understand to read the charts, everything else starts to make sense. Right? Because again, we make money based off the charts, we lose money based off the charts, we enter trades based off the charts, we exit trades based off the charts, we're confused based off the charts, but for some reason, nobody wants to learn how to read the charts. Right? Like you want to learn how to trade and invest, but you don't want to look at the charts. Right? You want to buy stocks or crypto, but you don't want to look at the charts. It doesn't make sense. Logically, when you think of it, it don't make sense. But still, I did it when I first started learning how to trade, and everybody fucking does it. But again, it makes 0 cents. Like if you literally just sit back, it makes 0 cents. Right? That's like I want to be a race car driver, but I've never driven a car before. I don't want to, you know, drive a regular car first. I want to get straight into, you know, a Mustang, Porsche, or Corvette and get right onto the NASCAR track. Somebody's gonna look at you like, "Are you stupid?" Right? But again, we do. Again, I'm not acting like I didn't do this. I did the same shit, but that's why I be pushing this and be stressing so much about it because again, the reason why I started all this shit is to make people profitable quicker, right? Because the reason why it takes so long for a lot of people to become profitable is because, you know, again, like I said, there's two ways to learn things, right? If I want to become the greatest piano player in the world, there's two ways I'm learning how to play the piano. One, the hard way, or two, I find somebody to teach me, right? So if I'm learning the hard way, it's going to take me fucking forever because I got to learn the notes, I got to learn the keys, I got to learn how to read music notes, I gotta learn all this stuff. And then, you know, make a bunch of mistakes on the way, learn from mistakes, figure out why this works, why this doesn't work. Or, you know, I find someone to teach me and then I learn from their mistakes and the process is a lot smoother and I learn a lot quicker, right? That's just like with literally anything in life. But yeah, so again, like it's just part of, so when people talk about price actions bad, it's not bad. It's just low volume. But again, that's part of price action, right? Because again, it's just like when everybody was talking about stocks and crypto, right? Q4 last year, everybody was like, "Oh my gosh!" And then as soon as we had a retracement, they said shit's crashing when it was literally just a retracement. You know what I mean? Like price isn't just going to forever shoot up. Price isn't going to forever shoot down, right? That's why there's like literally like if we look at an uptrend, is an uptrend going up forever? No, there's a retracement. We look at a downtrend, is a downtrend going down forever? No, there's a retracement, right? And in between those is the consolidation period. Right. I was just talking to a member student about this yesterday in a one-on-one session. Right. You have to remember what we're doing here. Right. We're looking at gold. Gold is at 32.94, 32.95. That's not just a random number they decided to put on my computer right now. That's literally how much gold's worth. I think like what, per ounce or some shit, right? When we look at NAS100, it's at 21,330. That's not just a random number. That's how much it's fucking worth right now, right? So these are real stocks, these are real metals, these are real currencies. So again, when we look at it from that perspective, imagine if the price of gold or anything else just forever shot up and was increasing every minute, every day, every week, with no retracements, no corrections. It would be unstable, right? Same thing if it was just a tank every day, every minute without any retracements. There would be no balance. The market, the economy will crash. So, you know, when people talk about like there's manipulation in the markets, yeah, but it has to be because if not, nothing would be balanced or stable. You know what I mean? You guys got any questions? Drop them in the chat. When we look at any charts, drop them in the chat. Again, y'all, we got news at 8:30 for USD and Canada. So we don't see any action between now and like 6 a.m. It's probably not going to do anything until 8:30, 9:30. I have too many accounts. I don't what I'm looking at the way you see the chart stuff. Yeah, I appreciate it. And that's because I put the time in, right? I haven't really made a video. I just talk about it like every now and then. But like I said, I learned the hard way. That's why I talk the way I talk and I do what I do. And that's why I'm so strict with my rules, because these rules is what I create. That's why it's called the playbook and I'm playmaker way. Because I literally, but then that's why I literally took like couple months because I was like, it's called a playbook, but I don't even got a playbook. So that's why I made an actual playbook. But again, like I blew like 30, 40K in a year just doing dumb shit. Like I said this all the time. Like back in the day, I used to work 2 jobs, 6 days out the week. Only had 1 full day off. 2 days I called half days off because I still worked 1 job. I didn't work 2 jobs, but I worked 6 days out the week, at least 1 job, right? So, and then how my pay periods were, I was getting paid bi-weekly, but they overlapped. So every week I was getting a paycheck, right? I'd get a paycheck from this job, the next week get a paycheck from that job. So I was getting paid every week. And literally I was at a point where I would literally be buying like 3 challenges in 1 week, not because I'm about to make some money, because I'd blow a challenge in 2 days, and then that same day I'd buy another challenge, and then that day or 2 days, 3 days I'd violate and buy another challenge. So like every 2 weeks I was buying like 3 to 4 challenges and blowing them on like a week, and then the other paycheck I was using that money to fund live accounts. So I was literally in a cycle of blowing live accounts, violating challenges, blowing live accounts, violating challenges. And when tax season came, and I got my what they call like W-2s or whatever. The W-2 shows you how much you made that year and all that shit. And I was like, wait, I made this much this year? And because again, the jobs I was working, they were minimum wage jobs, so I was making some decent money. So, but I didn't know I made that much because obviously that wasn't in my bank account. So I was like, wait, I made this much this year or last year? I was like, that's crazy. I looked at my bank account. I was like, I don't got that much in my bank account. So then I went down to my bank statements and all that. I just went down the list to see, my money went, and then I was literally seeing, well, it was different profit firm challenges. So I said the name of the profit firm, but like, profit firm challenge, profit firm, or the broker, back then, you could still do it, but back in the day, a few years ago, like Bitcoin was the only way you was depositing, withdrawing money. Now, they force it, at least in America, like the regulated brokers and stuff. And sometimes you can still use crypto. But back then it was like mainly Bitcoin. That was the way to do it. But yeah, I was like, bro, there's no way I just blew like 30, 40K. So I was like, okay, I need to start taking this more serious. So then I finally passed 2-phase evaluation. It was my first time I actually passed both phases. I was like, okay, it's lit. So then fast forward, this was back. So you know how prop firms have like a minimum you need. So certain prop firms are different, right? So the one I was on back then, it doesn't exist no more. It was like you needed a minimum amount before you could withdraw, which is kind of normal now. But then also you needed a certain amount of days trading on that account before you can do a withdrawal. So I had the minimum amount, and then but I had to just wait 2 more days before I could get my payout. So long story short, fast forward, I did some dumb shit, lost some money, and instead of just calling it a day and waiting for that next day to come by so I can get my payout, I did what most people do, was moving off emotions and not thinking logically, try to make the money back I lost. Long story short, I lost more money. Then I start over leveraging and try to counter all those losses. And the next thing you know, I was from break even, and then I blew the shit. Right? Like I literally like full tilt was just buy, sell. So I blew that shit. So then after that happened, I still have money on my live account. And so for those that don't know, I used to only trade gold, indices, and crypto back in the day. I recently switched over to Forex. I used to only trade crypto and gold back in the day. Like I'm talking about like Litecoin, Solana, back in the day when they were cheap. I'm talking about like when Solana and Litecoin was like. I'm talking about like back when Litecoin wasn't even at $50 type shit. I'm talking about that's how long ago. But that's another story. So I was in the Solana trade, and this was a long time ago. Like Solana was like $60, $80, $50 back then. And like Litecoin was like $20, $30 or some shit. But anyways, I remember I went for a sell. and I was in drawdown. And I knew sell was the move to go for, but again, I was being emotional. I wasn't looking at the charts, wasn't trusting the process. So I went for another sell, right? I did the dumb shit a lot of people do, right? I'm in drawdown, so I doubled down, added another position in drawdown. And then went further in drawdown. So now both my positions were in drawdown. Now I threw in another position. Yes, I was that dumb because again, I was mad as fuck that I was so close to getting my first payout. I did some dumb shit, so I was revenge trading, doing some dumb shit, right? So then, long story short, I over marginalized, basically meaning they pulled me out the trade, so I didn't blow my account. So it left me with like literally like $1 or $2. So they basically should have just let me blow my account, but over marginalized just for literally like the next candlestick or 30 minutes later for price to tank and then hit all my TPs. So that was the turning point for me. So I was like, bro, I'm not putting any more money into this shit until I figure this out. And I remember telling my friends this shit back in the day. I was like, look, bro, they're like, how's that trading shit going? I was like, bro, I ain't gonna lie, I just fucked up again, but I'm still gonna figure this shit out. I said, I'm just not gonna put no more money into this shit. I'm just gonna figure this shit out. Right. And so this is why, when people were telling me, they don't got time and shit. I'm like, bro, you make time for what you want, right? Because again, like obviously I don't got no children or anything like that, but I did work 2 jobs. And so I literally worked during New York session and I worked at night. So I was like, bro, I don't got no time to figure this shit out. But then that's when I found out about London session. And then this is what I did too. But again, I was like, bro, I work 2 jobs. I ain't got no time to do this shit. I got no time to study. So what I did was I literally wrote down every hour of the day. And then I wrote down what I was doing every hour of the day. Right? I wrote down the hours I had work. I gave me an hour to get ready and go to work, or 2 hours to get ready to go to work, hour, driving back from work. And then I had left like 4 to 6 hours of free time. So everybody's got at least 4 to 6 hours of free time a day. Now, whether you're doom scrolling, or, watching some podcasts or some Netflix, you know what I'm saying, watching whatever y'all be watching, we all got 4 to 6 hours of free time a day. So there's really no excuse, right? You can put an hour, 2 hours a day into whatever you want to learn. And that's what I did. So I was like, okay, I figured it out. I do have some time. I just got to stop doing this and that during that time. So I stopped playing video games. I stopped watching anime for a minute, and literally all my free time was either watching trading stuff or like staring at the charts trying to figure shit out. And of course, during this process of me taking challenges and funding my accounts, I did pay for like 2 different courses. I was in like 2 different signal services, not at the same time. I'm talking about like a year, 2-year span. I was in like, I bought like 2 different courses. I was in like 2 different signal services, bought this indicator, all types of shit. So I paid for shit in education while I was doing it. I didn't just like randomly start buying challenges, started taking trades. Like I paid for shit, but the shit didn't work. People didn't know what they're talking about, right? Like I would ask a question and they couldn't answer my question or explain why they're telling me to do this or not do this. And then there was other people that I could tell that they didn't want to tell me certain shit. They wanted me to like be there and dependent on them. I was like, no, I want to learn this myself. And then of course I fell for, the infamous I Am Academy bullshit. Well, I didn't really fall for, that's another conversation. I'm not even going to get into that, but I didn't fall for it because I know a scam when I see one. Like I'm from Georgia, like I know a scam when I see one. But I said I wasn't going to get into it. Fuck it, right? I had a homeboy that was in it. So I was like, okay, my homeboy is in this group. I was like, he wouldn't do me dirty, right? No, he wanted that extra $20 that bad. So he did me dirty, right? So once they found out I wasn't trying to sell shit, of course, they put you into a different group. They're like, okay, we're not going to get no money out of him. So then I left. So I was at a point where I was trying to figure it out on my own because I already spent like $2,000-$3,000 on trying to learn shit. I wasted that money. So okay, now I got to figure this shit out on my own. So I was just staring at the charts. And then one day things just started to click. I was like, I've seen this before. I was like, I've seen price do this before. I don't know where, but I've seen this reaction or this pattern or whatever. And then one thing led to another. that's how I came up with these key price levels. And then I was like, okay, now I know how the charts work. Now I know how to read the charts, but I still need a trading plan. I still need to know how to not over leverage, not just randomly put lot sizes and, you know, hope that's a good lot size for this position. So, you know, I learned how to count pips, how to understand risk reward. So like all this stuff that's in the playbook and all the stuff that I teach in these videos and these lives, I literally had to come up with all this shit on my own and figure out the hard way. And then once I figured out all this shit, and people don't believe me when I say this, but I literally did this. I practiced 3 months. Yes, 3 months straight on a demo account because I was like, I'm not about to make the same mistake again. I was like, when I start trading again and use my money, I need to make sure that this isn't no just it works sometimes or it's working right now. I wanted to make sure that this was something consistent. Like this was how shit works. You know what I mean? I was like, I need to make sure this is how things work and this is what I need to do. So after 3 months of seeing profitable weeks, and again, I wasn't just on a demo account taking shit. I was treating the demo account like how I was going to treat my funded and personal account. So I literally again I had the game plan written. I knew after I figured this shit out, I knew beforehand what size challenge I was buying. I knew beforehand how much I was going to put into my live account. So I already had a game plan of, again, you know, this is how I'm going to trade it, this is how I'm going to pass it, whatever. So when I was on the demo accounts, I was literally using lot size I was going to use for my profit and challenges. I was literally using lot sizes I'll use for my personal accounts. And yes, it was like a 50, 100K demo, but I wasn't just doing stupid lots. That's why people will be against demo accounts because they're like, it's not real money. It's you don't feel that same pressure. I'm like, it's all a mental thing because when you hit settings and change, it's literally the same shit. So you're just not taking it serious because it's a demo account. You know what I mean? Because it's the same shit. You know what I mean? One thing that's different is it's not your real money. But like, and I tested out too. Like I was like, okay, it's literally everything's the same. The numbers are the same. The spread's the same. Nothing changes. So after 3 months of seeing it worked, guess what? Month 4 came along, bought a profit firm challenge, passed that shit in the month. You know, started growing my personal accounts, and then like that next month or 2 months later, like quit my one of my jobs. I just had like one full-time job and I was making part-time income off trading. So I was trading London session, then going to work New York session, managing my trade during New York session, and that's what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? And then eventually quit both my jobs, started doing this quote unquote full-time. You know what I mean? And I started a playbook because I got tired of seeing people give shitty information or people just falling for dumb shit. And here we are now, you know what I mean, doing this thing for 3 years straight, exposing all the bullshit in the trading space, showing people that markets aren't out to get you, markets aren't just randomly doing stuff. But yeah, so again, y'all, NAS just broke above this low. We're about to see if we can hold. Again, we're not going to just pull the trigger right here because price can easily do what it did right here. So we want to see if we can hold this low as support. If we can hold 21,350 as support, we're going to be looking for buys going to 21,415. All right, y'all. Gold's still kind of napping. Gold, again, we're looking for sells if we can break below and hold 32.84 as resistance. We can look for sells going to 32.62. Or if it breaks above this level, holds that support at 33.26. We can look for buys going to 33.50. GJ, if we can break above and hold 194.45 as support, we can look for buys again. Those are the main 3 charts I'm looking at. I'm not really looking at anything else, to be honest. Everything else I don't really like. They got some work to do still. And again, look how price reacts to these key price levels again. Hold to here. He's rejecting here. So we're going to see if we can break above and hold this low as support. All right, this is how we enter and exit off these levels. You make it simple. How many people in your group? It depends on which one you're talking about. Because I have more people in the signal room than I do in the Playmaker University. I got a decent amount of people. We're slowly growing. Like I said, we're not big. Only got, I mean, I'm not saying only, but, you know, I'm happy with the progress. But, you know, we just broke 3K this year on YouTube. I'm on my 5th TikTok account because haters keep on banning me because, like I said, we've been doing this for 3 years, right? I still, if you go to this video right here, there's literally a comment where this dude, even when I show the proof in the video, he is so lost in the sauce, he can't even fathom a 94% win rate, even though it's on a monthly basis, right? Even though I show the proof, the dude's literally still in the comments, that's literally not possible. That's not possible. And I'm like, I'm showing you how you can debunk me and all this stuff. So I still get people to this day, you know, so I've been kind of chill, but last year I was like, fuck that shit. I don't care no more. I'm going hard. You know, that's what, like, they had me stagnant for a year, I ain't gonna lie. But like Q4 last year, I was like, fuck it. No, it's time to, enough's enough. Right? Enough time has passed. So yeah, we're blown. Like we literally started this year at like 2,000 subscribers. We're already almost double. And we're just in Q2. You know what I'm saying? So it's not bad at all. Let's see what else we got up in here. What up, your last video about looking at higher time frame buys and sticking to when entering on a lower time frame was definitely a light bulb move. Yep, it was for me too, and that's, like I said, that's one of the biggest components that people be missing, right? Because again, and that's why I said people do this shit on purpose. Like now that I'm on the other side, right, the quote unquote 1%, which is not 1%, but you know, haha, 1%, right? Now that I'm on the other side, it's just like any field, right? It's like if you're really good at let's say like you're a producer or something, right? You can tell somebody, it's game recognized game, is that simple. If you're a producer, you can tell somebody else actually produces or they're just talking to talk, right? If you fucking if you're like a dentist, you can tell if somebody's actually a dentist or not, or they're just saying some shit they heard on the internet. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with trading. Once I figure this shit out, that's when I realize a lot of people are on bullshit or just don't know what they're talking about, right? But when you see people online and they're on these smaller time frames, the 5 minute, the 1 minute, right? If they are actually a good trader, I promise you they did not do their whole analysis and open up their computer on the 1 minute, the 5 minute time frame. But because they show on their videos just a 1 minute, 5 minute time frame, people think that's what you have to hop on, right? So then people try to do everything on that same time frame. They try to identify the trend on the same time frame. They try to find the bias on that same time frame, and they wonder why they take a buy and the price explodes, or here it's exploded, instead of understanding that they're chasing price, not following the flow of price. And on the bigger time frame or an uptrend, they mark this up as a fake out liquidity sweep, or they say, oh, the bears just came in, or the bulls just came in, or there's a people at a round table that want me to blow my $500 account, so they're selling my orders. Like they come up with all this shit when in reality it's just that one missing piece. They're not on a bigger time frame trying to figure shit out. That's why in all my trade breakdowns, I'm always like, I'm not saying we're trading on the bigger time frame, but we have to identify the trend on the bigger time frame, right? That's why, again, I can drop a Sunday chart analysis when New York opens and stick to it. You get what I'm saying? It's because, again, I'm looking on the bigger time frame and I'm following the flow of price. I'm not just reacting and chasing price. That's why I don't like when people be talking about like bearish candlestick, bullish candlestick, because like I said, like we talked about earlier, in the uptrend, there's red candlesticks. In the downtrend, there's green candlesticks. So there's bearish, bullish, that's all dumb shit, right? It's all dumb shit. That's why I talk about the price action technical analysis playbook as well. Right, this is the first thing I talk about. This is the first page in the price action technical analysis playbook. Right, one thing you got to understand is price isn't randomly doing things. Let me take you off real quick. Price is just randomly doing things, and there are no coincidences in the markets. And you see something once, you'll see it twice. If you see it twice, you'll see it thrice. When you see it thrice, you'll see it every day, every week, every month. The charts are like a 1,000-piece puzzle, each candlestick being one piece to the puzzle. You think you can see the full picture in just one piece? No, which is exactly why identifying a single candlestick doesn't help you understand everything. Think about it, these patterns or candlesticks people point out, do they actually explain what price is doing or why it's doing it? No, they just say, when you see this, do this or do that. You know, so that's why they come up with all this shit. Oh, the bears just came out, or the bulls, or oh, liquidity's fake out. Yep, fake out. That's what it was. It's never, oh, I went for the wrong move. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know, price just failed to hold this level because it got caught. It's never that. It's never anything that actually makes sense, right? It's always, you know, the boogeyman under the bed or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's because, again, everybody doesn't want to take that time to learn how to read the charts, because at first glance that shit looks confusing, intimidating. But like I said, when you rip that band-aid off and you learn how to read the charts, you stick the playbook, you realize it's very, very, very simple. And the only hard part is you versus you. You get what I'm saying? Let's see what else we got up in here. Got drawdowns, tell me to lay up. I'm telling you, man, you and me both. You and me both. What is wrong with you, bro? I don't get people that do that. And see, this is why I might need what they call them, a mod, because when I go on my talks, I don't look at the chat for like 5-10 minutes sometimes. Every now and then there's some goofballs I want to promote the shit. I'm like, if your shit's so good, why are you coming to my channel promoting your shit? Right? You gotta think about that. If that motherfucker, I didn't even read this shit. I just left it. I just deleted it. If you're so good, why the fuck you gotta come? And I get that all the time, right? If either people are promoting their shit, or the people that be trying to talk shit about me, they be like, oh, you're lying, or show me a P&L, or there's no way you're making money. You're in a tank top. I'm like, bro, I'm in my crib. I'm chilling in my crib. You want me to fucking get cute for you? I'm in my crib, bro. I'm literally, right now, I ain't got no stocks on. I don't got a few things on. Like, I'm in the house. Why the fuck I gotta, like, you know, people are so lost in the sauce because they're so used to people going on the internet putting on the ads. And because I don't do that, like, bro, I'm in the fucking crib. I put my camera on, I talk, I give a video. If you don't want to listen to what I'm talking about because I don't look cute, or because I didn't have a haircut in a week, because again I'm in the house hustling, I don't know what to tell you, right? But it's always quote unquote traders that be hating on me, right? They be like, there's no way you really did that. You're lying. And I go to their page, like, oh, you know, my bio. I'm like, bro, if you're really so good, why are you under my shit talking shit, right? Why are you trying to promote under my shit? Right? You're never going to see me do that. And that's why I started, because like I said, when I figured the shit out, I didn't have a trading page, but you know, the algorithm does what the algorithm does. When you talk about something, you look at something, they're going to start pushing that shit. So I started seeing a bunch of trading content pop on my For You page. Like, I didn't even know there was a trading space this big until I became profitable, and it should start popping up on my page. And again, I started seeing people get bad information, so I'll be like, no, it actually doesn't make sense. This blah blah blah, right? And then people were like, oh, you're just hating, you're jealous. I was like, bro, yeah, no idea this motherfucker's trying to hustle you. I'm trying to help you out. So that's why I started my own page. You know what I'm saying? But let's get back to our regular schedule. Let's go back to NAS100. Let's check. Let's see what's up. Yes, one of the members, Playmaker University, or if you're a lifetime member, to be like a mod or something like that, let me know, because I don't pay attention to the chat. I mean, I pay attention to the chat, but like when I'm talking, I don't be like looking at the chat as it's going by. I be in the charts breaking stuff down. And every now and then we get people like that. I want to see what's going on. Does your technical analysis book show you the strategy you're using? The technical analysis playbook, that's a good question. The technical analysis playbook goes over how to read the charts, right? Like I talked about earlier. Understanding how to read the charts is not a strategy. It's just that, right? It's just like walking, right? It's just like blinking. There's no strategy to blinking. You don't even think about it, right? You just do it. You just close your eyes. The same thing. This book helps you understand how to read the charts. This is not my strategy. Now, in this book, I tell you what to look for and go for with your strategy, but this is just strictly how to read the charts. That's why I give it for free in Playmaker University, where I go over how to read the charts and my strategy. This is just how to read the charts, because again, I can give you my strategy right now. I can give you my key price levels right now, but you're still not going to know what to do with it because you don't know how to read the charts, you don't have a trading plan, and you don't got all of the things you need to actually trade successfully. I'm not just saying that to say that. I'm being honest. Like, I've had people literally come to me for one-on-one sessions, and they're like, I want to learn how to do the levels. I'm like, okay, I can teach you that, but first, let me teach you how to read the charts. Like, oh, I just want to know how to do the levels. I know how to read the charts. I'm like, okay, you know how to read the charts? So then I ask them a question. They can't answer. So I'm like, this is exactly why I'm trying to teach you how to read the charts, because I get it. You want to go to the finish line. You want to win the race, but you got to practice, prepare for the race, right? Or I give them the key price levels, and after getting the key price levels, I'm like, okay, mark some charts up for me, or the next session, let me see what your charts look like. And the charts are fucked, or they're hitting me up like, I still don't understand this, that, and the third. I'm like, that's exactly why there's a process, right? There's a method to the madness. So you got to understand how to read the charts first. If you want my full strategy, I recommend going to Playmaker University, because you get the book as well as the full strategy. But that book is literally for people that have a strategy, or show you how to read the charts to apply that to your strategy, or like I said, mainly understand how the charts work. That's what that book's for. But as far as a strategy, I go over that in one-on-one sessions in the Playmaker University. That book is literally just showing you how price actually moves. It's breaking down the stuff I'll be breaking down right now. And it shows you how, again, I'm able to understand what price is doing, get projection at the beginning of the week that play out the whole week and all that good stuff. Right, like I literally had somebody, I think it was Wednesday. I can't remember. I'm terrible with days. I think it was Wednesday. I can't remember. It was either Tuesday or Wednesday's live stream, right? And they were talking about gold. And I said, I wouldn't look for knowledge on gold yet because we're in a reversal territory. And then literally the same live, like 30 minutes later, he was like, yo, bro, thanks. You told me not to go for buys. You saved me some money, because price sure enough tanked. And if you would have went for buys, you would have got fucked up. And again, it's just simply understanding how the charts work, right? Because again, we make money based off the charts, we lose money based off the charts. The future is based off the charts. So you can't do anything trading successfully if you don't know how the charts work. Let's see what else we got going on in here. But if you want the book, you can get it separately, or you can get it for free with a few other things. Give me 1 second. Grab my phone real quick. Drop the link in the thing. 1 second. One second. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok as well, y'all. Y'all see you scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Instagram, playmaker_way, TikTok, _playmaker_. Shout out to those that's coming from my other TikTok page. If you know, you know. I might start promoting it more, but I kind of want to test it out first, because it's doing a lot better than my other page. And I think it's because I've had too many people report my stuff on my main TikTok and report my lives too many times that TikTok does a thing where they don't push your shit out like they need to, because of flags and stuff like that. Right? But if you want to just get the book, you can just click that link and just get the price action technical analysis playbook by itself. Or like I said, you get that for free as well as a few other things in Playmakers University. So let me show you what all that stuff is. Go to it. All right, here we are. And you can read all this stuff yourself. Hit that first link in the description. Join the free student for Telegram. Right. And for those just coming in, this is the question I'm answering right here. So yeah, so you go to May 22nd, you can see all the stuff right here, right? So the price action technical analysis playbook you get for free in here, as well as you get this book for free, The Trader's Mindset, Master in Psychology and Risk Management. It goes over how to risk, master discipline, never blow an account again, learn how to trust yourself while staying cool, confident like that. In this book, I literally give you my trading plan on to literally never blow your account again. I know that sounds crazy, but it is possible. I'm speaking from experience. I have other members of students, like if you stick to the playbook, you'll never blow your account again. I can say that with confidence. Again, keywords, if you stick to the playbook, not you did it for 1 week and then you went back to your bad habits. No, if you stick to the playbook, it's called the playbook for you. If you stick to it, you won't blow your account ever again. Right? I can say that with full confidence because I've done it. And I can pull up the calculator and show you how simple math, right? But I go over how to read the charts, how to identify my key price levels, which is the blue and gold lines you see. I go over how to enter and exit trades. I go over how to trade news. I go over my scalping strategy, which I don't use in the signal room. I kind of use on some of my other accounts, but I throw that in there as well. And the reason why I don't do the scalping strategy is because, again, like with the day trading signals, even if you're late to the trade, you can still kind of get in off the retracement. Or with the scalping strategy, if you miss that signal, you might miss the play. You know what I'm saying? So I go over my buy and selling strategy. I go over, again, trade psychology, how to deal with wins and losses. I go over how to scale into trades, how to never blow your account again, how to double your account every month, which, again, it is possible. It is possible. Again, it is possible. And then you also get daily analysis setups for life. Right, every day I drop what's called a New York price watch list, and that I go over literally all the setups you can look for going to New York. I go over where I look for buys or sells. I go over exact price points to look for entries and exits at. I also give you updates throughout the day on what's going on and all that good stuff. You get exclusive New York lives and trading plan Zooms, and you get the playbook and traders mindset for free. And then also there's a student member group chat. You get all that with that. But like I said, if you just want this book, you can get this separately, or you can get this separately. But also on the website, I got bundles, so you can get like 2 books or 3 books together for a cheaper price. So make sure to just explore all that good stuff. All right. But let me see what else we got. And again, this is why we don't breakout trade, because again, we would have had our stop loss hit for no reason, just because of impatience. Again, you just got to stick to the rules and just be patient. All right. It sucks, but it sucks more to just lose money for no reason. Right? And like I said, it's a long-term game. We're up for the week, we're up for the month, we're up for the quarter, up for the year. So there's no reason to just throw away unnecessary money. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what else we got up in here. Just join. Can you give me a quick recap of your buys or sells? Don't have to go into detail. Yeah, so I'm only looking at a couple of charts today. If you want to know about the other charts, you can just rewind to towards like the beginning. But as far as what I'm looking for right now, if gold can break below and hold 32.84 as resistance, we're going to be looking for sales going down to 32.60. Or if it breaks above and holds 33.28, that's support, we're going to do buys, just like how we did last week at Monday. So we're either looking for buys here, sales down here. NAS100. I'm looking for buys. If we can hold 21,350 as support, then we can look for buys going as high as 21,500. But a lot of these charts are struggling to continue. The trends are kind of in consolidation. You see that right here, right? We see NAS did a big push, and then literally for like a whole 2 weeks, just kept on kissing this level and finally reversed. But the downtrend failed because we see this wick price came back up. And you see here, price is still struggling to break this resistance level. And yesterday, Price fucking took a U-turn, and we see today what's going on. So again, we're just simply waiting for volume. That's all we can do right now. A lot of these charts are kind of the same position. Gold's in the same position, right? Struggling to hold this level of support, struggling to break this level. Look at the wicks, look at the rejections. So we're simply just waiting for price to see what side the coin is going to land on, right? Because again, it's stuck in this box and struggling to continue to go up or go down, right? It's been stuck here literally since the 21st. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days. So that's like 2.5 trading weeks, right? So that's what's going on with a lot of these charts. And then GJ, we can look for buys again. If we can hold 194.45 as support, we can look for buys going back up to 195. But again, GJ, same thing, right? Rejected, rejected. So again, you know, we're just simply waiting for volume to pick up and hold these levels, because we keep breaking these levels, but we fail to hold, right? We keep breaking but failing to hold. So that's why there's been a lot of consolidation ranging the past month, because you know, we just got a lack of volume. We can see that especially on the smaller time frames, small candlesticks, wickiness. That's an indication of low volume. And when there's low volume, as you can see, price struggles to break levels. But when there is volume, that's when price breaks levels. Low volume, price failed to break, right? Low volume, price failed to hold. Volume picked up, price broke that level. Low volume, price retraced, volume came and broke. Low volume, price is just chilling in place. Right. Yeah, so that's what's going on with these charts right here. Didn't go. Well, I didn't take no sales last night. But yeah, like I said, they did big retracements. That's what happened yesterday and last night. Big retracements happened. We do got USD and Canadian news, so because at this point, I'm probably not going to charge to a New York session. Looks like price been chilling. Like I said, I'm gonna hop back on around like 6, but if nothing's going on between now and like 6 a.m., it's probably going to be just chilling up until 8:30 when that news does pop off. Again, I don't really care if price goes up or down. I just need price to break out of this level of consolidation we're stuck in, either continue to start the uptrend or continue to start the downtrend. Right? Like, of course, you want to find a bias, but I'm not one of those people like, you know, I'm a better seller or a better buyer. I do good in uptrends or downtrends. I just the trend to trend. You get what I'm saying? That's all I do. And this is really the hardest part of trading, is just waiting for patience. And again, like we was talking about before, the reason why people keep talking about on the internet, you know, oh my God, what is this price action? What is this price action? What is this price action? One, most of the people talking about that, they only trade New York sessions. So if the move happened in Tokyo and London session, like we talk about all the time during the London session lives, what I always talk about, it did a big move. So we're either going to see a normally large candlestick, or what? We're going to see price consolidate in range. And guess what ends up happening? Exactly what I talk about, right? Again, I don't got a crystal ball. I just understand the rules of price. So then again, if you only trade New York session, which is the last session of the day, of course, when you go there and the move happened, you're either going to catch a reversal, or you're going to just see price consolidate all day, right? But again, there's consolidation periods in every session, which is why I don't get why there's like this big thing where people talk about Tokyo session slow, which doesn't make any fucking sense, but that's a whole other conversation. But again, the main reason why people keep talking about price action bands because of that, and then two, because they just don't understand how the chart works. Price isn't going to just have volume pumping all the time. That's just not how it works. That's why you got to take advantage when those things do happen, but also stick to your trading plan. Because again, I see it all the time. I see it every year, at least twice a year, because quarter 4 is the slowest of the year. Quarter 1 is kind of slow. And then, in my opinion, summer quarter is the best quarter. Quarter 3 is my favorite quarter, in my opinion, with the most volume, right? But there's always going to be periods where there's high volume and low volume. So a lot of people get fucked up in the consolidation periods because, again, they don't understand that consolidation periods are a thing. And again, they got used to every time they enter a trade, prices just exploding up or exploding down. You know, that's just not how trading works. You know what I mean? So Again, it sucks, but there's nothing we can do about it. It's just part of the game. It's part of the game. Right? There's seasons to everything. Just like if you're a farmer, right? You can't grow your crop all year. There's only certain seasons you can grow certain crops. You know what I mean? We're gonna be on for a little bit longer, y'all. Make sure to like the live and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Now, if y'all joined late, I do recommend rewinding and watching this full live as well as yesterday's live because we gave out some serious free game, some that nobody be talking about, some that people would charge thousands, hundreds for. I give away for free. That's why I always shout out those that be in the lives. That's why I always at the recap of the day, I always like, hey, if you ain't watching live, you're missing out. And then people get upset when I say that. I'm like, I'm being for real. But I can't force y'all to watch. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always shout out to those that do watch because you see how many people's in there. You see how many people view this stuff versus how many people hop in and watch the live. You know what I mean? And that's why I be laughing at the haters when they're like, "Oh, you're lying." I'm like, bro, if you spent that same time typing this paragraph to me, to this random person you ran into on the internet, you spent that same time trying to go to the stuff I tell you to go to verify. You realize I'm not capping. But people are lazy. Let's see what else we got up in here. All right. We're gonna be on for a little bit longer, y'all. So when you guys got any questions, drop in the chat. When you charts, drop in the chat. Well, you trade 4 to 5 things to make money. What made you start doing that, and why? Do you ever have to trade or change up? Yeah, it depends on the market conditions. But yeah, so it's funny you said that. And again, there's no cap and a wrap. If you go to the YouTube channel, I'm going to do that right now. Hopefully, I don't mess up the audio. But if you go to the YouTube channel and you go to live, all right, I'm about to go to my channel right now. And then you go to live and then you go to oldest. You watch one of my first streams from 2 years ago. Right, you're going to see a few things. One, you're going to see the elevation and growth from my strategy, but also what you're going to see. This is hilarious. You're going to see. Look at all these tabs. I used to look at like 20 different fucking charts. Right. So again, this is why I like. If you just look at the Telegram or YouTube, you can see my growth. But this was back when I figured out how to read the charts, right? Because again, back in the day, I used to only trade gold, crypto. Like the strategy I used to use back in the day was a strategy. Now I do have a strategy, but the strategy falls off of how the charts actually work. Back then, I had a trading strategy, which is why I wasn't accurate and I kept on doing dumb shit, right? So and you can see here, I used to look at like 20 different fucking charts. And if you go into the free signal free Telegram, you click here. This is no longer a sale, right? So every now and then people be like, oh, what's that sale? No, this is from 2022. Or is why I kept this pinned is so y'all can easily go back in time and see like we really do this shit, right? We've been doing this shit literally for 3 years on the dot. Oh shit. Yeah, on the dot. May 22nd, 2022. This is when I created the playbook or created this Telegram. And we've been doing this shit averaging high 80, high 90% win rates on a weekly, monthly, and quarterly basis in this Telegram and on YouTube literally for 3 years, right? And again, you can see my old charts. My charts don't look like that no more, right? This was terrible. I was just putting shit on the screen, right? Shout out my old computer too, right? But again, you can see the elevation. You can also see we've been doing this for a long time. And you can see here, if you go back in time, you'll see that I used to trade a bunch of stuff that you've never heard me utter if you found me this year or this month, right? So let me try to find some example. Like, for example, no, that's not an example. Well, I don't really trade US30 no more, but I used to call US30 out all the time. Again, like you can see my charts do not look like this anymore. Like the elevation and the growth. I'm trying to find example. Again, this was 2022. Look at this. I've been seeing this trend. People would talk about bottom tick, top tick. I'm like, maybe I need to start hop on that trend because we'll be doing that shit over here. We'll be doing that shit over here. But anyways, and this was in 2022. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I'm saying we really do this shit. But anyways, I'm trying to find an example, but all these charts will still trade. So give me a second. Man, I should hop out here because we really do this shit over here. All right. But anyways, if y'all seen that trend on TikTok, you know what I'm talking about. We do that. We've been doing that. But again, you can see like I used to take a bunch of fucking trades, like Euro USD. You haven't heard me say that in a minute. I used to trade like EUSTX. If y'all even know what that is, shout out to those that know. But I used to trade that. I used to trade Euro 30. I'm trying to find them, but I can't find the example right now. GBPUSD, like I used to trade all types of shit, right? But it just came to a point, right? It just came to a point that I realized that me having all these setups and all these charts and all these possible setups made me start to overtrade. Where the fuck is? Start to overtrade. And then I started to see like 5 or 6 different opportunities, 5 or 6 different setups. and then I was trying to hop into all of them. So then I just dialed it down. I was like, I don't need to have every currency pair out. Like again, it's on the YouTube. If you go to the old lives, I used to look at every USD pair, SB. I used to look at every JPY pair. Like I used to have GBPJPY up, Euro JPY, AUD JPY, New Zealand JPY, not USD JPY. I don't know how people trade that. I don't like USD JPY. I don't know how people trade that. But anyways, I used to have all the USD pairs up. I used to look at AUD USD, GBPUSD, Euro USD, New Zealand USD. I used to look at all the futures. I used to look at US30 NAS100 SPX. I used to also look at GBPJPY USDX, Japanese. The Japanese one? There's a Japanese one too. If you know, you know. But yeah, I used to do all that shit. And Euro CHF. I don't trade Swiss franc pairs anymore. That's literally chop city. I don't get how people trade Swiss franc. That's literally, it ranges all fucking day. I don't get people trade that. But anyways, but you can see I used to trade all types of shit. Right? Euro CHF. I used to trade all types of shit. And it just got to a point where again, like I started to over trade a little bit too much. And I was like, I don't need to take a bunch of trades every day. Like, but when I figured it out, I was excited and I was on the charts all day. Like I was on the charts literally all day. Like you can see here, I literally caught all these trades. Now these were some free trades, some in advanced play signal room, but there's no reason why in one day I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trades. Now they all hit TPs, but again, like you don't got to do that shit. You know what I mean? So you see GBP30. So I just chilled out. So I do alternate. Like even last year I was looking at US30, I was looking at NAS100 and SPX, and I was also looking at Euro USD, Euro New Zealand, Euro JPY, as well as GBPUSD, GBPJPY, GBP New Zealand. And then I stopped looking at half of those. One, because the market conditions were bad, but also just to dial down and stuff. But I can trade whatever I want. I just like these because you get good rich rewards on them. And these are just, you know, they move smoother and there's a lot less times where there's choppiness, you know, some of the other charts and pairs. But there's no reason besides that. You know what I mean? But, you know, the saying also goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I only switch up if the market conditions are bad. I don't see anything I like. Then I'll go move to something else. But yeah, like right now, I don't got all those charts. I only have, and now I'm starting to do it like now immediately. I look at all the charts I like to look at, and then once I find the ones I see setups on, I close all the other charts out. That's why I only have 3 tabs. Like, these are the 3 charts I'm paying attention to heavy today. Now, if one of my alerts pops off on my other charts, indicating that volume picked up is doing something, then I'll switch. But these are the 3 charts I'm looking at today for setups. But yeah, that's the reason why. Yeah, sir. I just realized that I might have to do something about that. Appreciate that. But yeah, that's why I be telling people. I'm like, bro, like, I've been doing this for a minute. I just keep getting my shit reported and banned. That's why I don't be growing too much. Also, because I don't do clickbaity video. Like I said, like I run other pages on social media in other niches. Like I know how social media works. I know how to go viral. I know how to get clicks. But I don't like I said, like I don't want to have a bunch of people in here. I want literally, and my videos on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube are specifically targeted for people that actually want to learn how to trade. Like I'm not trying to like just get a bunch of people in here and be like, yeah, man, look, you know, just come pay me because you know. Like, y'all see the page. Like I said, y'all see there's literally pages where people don't even teach how to trade. They just take a picture of their car every day and say trading gave me this, and then people will pay them thousands of dollars with no proof besides that car or house they may or may not have gotten from trading as the only proof that they know what they're talking about, quote unquote. Or there's those pages where they only post clips of their winning trades and you know, the men trades, speed running trades, whether that's on live or demo account, but they'll have no educational content, and they're just like in their bio, hey, click here to learn. And they're charging thousands of dollars for something that they may or may not know how to teach or know how to do, right? So that's why I want to give free shit away, but also just show y'all that I know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? Like you can't. YouTube is documented, Telegram is documented. I can't make this shit up. You know what I'm saying? That's why I be like, when people be coming to me like, oh, you know, this, that, and the third. I'm like, dude, just click the links, bro. That's all I gotta say. Just click the links, like proofs in the pudding. But at the same time, I was making people mad because I had like big. I ain't saying no names, but I had like big traders in the space following me. I got big traders in my Telegram right now that be, try to find a recipe for the sauce. I've done things. I've done things behind the scenes. Nothing bad, but I've helped companies with PAM accounts. I mean, I could talk about this. I've made like there's shit behind the scenes that y'all do not know about. There's people that talk to me that y'all don't know about that are, I'm saying, like, I'm telling you, right? I'm telling you, people know, but at the same time, that's why people be hesitant with shit, because a lot of these people in the space, they're marketers or salesmen, right? So that's why I do things a certain way I want, because I don't just want a bunch of people in here. I'm not giving false promises. I don't want to have 1,000 people paying me. I want, as far as just random people, right? If I don't have 1,000 people paying me or learning from me, it's people that actually want to learn how to trade and understand what trading is, not just thinking some get rich quick scheme or some method or some shit. You know what I mean? But all right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. This will be a longer live. Like I said, if y'all ask questions, allows me. Like I said, I'm when I'm off stream, I'm not on my desk. Like I'm not one of those people that be on my desk for hours until I find a setup, and I'll be on my desk until I close the trade. I'm only on my desk and my main computer, my main monitor, when I'm doing one-on-one sessions, when I'm making videos, when I got meetings, or like when I'm live right now. Like once this live's off, I'm doing something else. Right? I'm out of my computer. So, lives will be longer. We got people asking questions, shit like that. But if I already said what I said in my analysis and nothing's going on, that's why I ended on the hour. If you like the longer lives, you like the free game, questions, we'll have longer lives. I got no issue with that because I'm up anyways, but so I just didn't get a computer for no reason. But shout out to everybody in the live, y'all. Shout out to everybody that's been live since the beginning. Shout out to everybody that's been live since y'all joined. Make sure if y'all just joined to rewind and watch from the beginning, because we broke down a lot of good stuff. We went over a lot of good game in here. If you guys want to contact me directly, y'all can DM me on Instagram or Telegram or TikTok. You'll see it scroll at the bottom of the screen. Make sure to hit that first link in the description during the free signal for Telegram. You see on your screen how we did last month and last quarter. You want to learn how to identify these levels. You want to learn my exact strategy step by step. Join the Playmaker Universe. We're signing for one-on-one sessions. We're just going to copy my signals. Join the fans with student room. Watch any of my videos. At the end, I go over all the details for all that stuff. Do not waste this weekend, y'all. And like I said, we're the last month of quarter two, almost halfway through the year. It's time to lock in, y'all. It's time to lock in. But, we'll be back at the same time. Wednesday, Eastern. I'm the